According to the Mishna Berura. Anaf eitz ovos usming the hadas over batorah. When the Torah says you have anaf eitz ovos, the leaves are like a braid covering the stem. Hadash olav chofinis eitzo. It's referring to the hadas where the leaves cover the stem. You have minimally three or more leaves on the same level. If you have two leaves on the same level, and the third leaf, it's above. That's not considered ovos. Ovos minimally you have to have three leaves. That means on all sides of the stem it's covered. It's called hadar shota. Like a person. You look at him, he looks like a normal person. The moment he opens his mouth, you understand. He's not, it's not it. I mean, the Mishna Berura says the reason is because a shota, a normal person has, his life is patterned, it's structured. A shota, it's like, as it says, he unpredictable. He has no control over himself. A shota doesn't mean a person who's retarded. It's not a fool. Shota, no, not even a person living intelligence. A person who has no control over his behavior is a shota. A person with a chemical imbalance, where it's serious, where his behavior is not under his control, that's a shota. Of course, a person who has who's limited intelligence doesn't understand is also shota. But even a person that could have genius intelligence, but if he has no control over his behavior, the whole concept of bechira, liability is control. He has no control. He can't control himself. That's a shota. The Gemara says, what's an indication? We're going to have Gemara Chagiga. We start Daf Yomi in Chagiga. The Gemara says, what's a shota? Person who sleeps in the cemetery at night. Person goes and just tears his clothing. Right? The behavior is abnormal behavior, irrational behavior. That's a shota. Okay. And even if a person has no choice, he doesn't have a hadas where the three leaves on each level. Even if you have no choice, it's not valid. Even b'shas adchak, the kosher. There's an opinion Gemara says that it is kosher. That if you have no choice, the only hadas you come upon is one where the leaves are not all on the same level. You have no other choice. You have no. It's kosher. Therefore, there's certain communities where they're not able to get kosher hadasim. Hadas, we have three on the same level, and they use these hadas, and they rely on that one opinion in the Gemara. Hoil v'im shnayim al gav shnayim. Veidon badas kadas shota nishkamor. Others say, because there is a pattern. It's two. There is a uniformity. Right. The whole idea is because it's not. There's no pattern. It's haphazard. 2, 1. No, it's here, but it is uniform. It's 2 on the same level, and again 2, 1 not. So because there's a certain uniformity in terms of the leaf pattern, that's not called shota. That's how they interpret. That's a valid hadas. Right. It's only you have 3 and then 2 and 1 and that. But if it's uniform, that's not hadas. That's the way they explain. That's what they rely on. That's not a hashota if it's uniform. That's not. L'chei nogu lahokil. K'moshekosu amari kolom umari isolon zal b'tshuvosayim. Therefore, the two, that's the Mari Kolon, and he was a student of the Ran, and the Mari Isolon. They write in the response that this is the basis for the leniency to use this kind of hadas, although you don't have 3 on the same level, but you do have consistently 2 on the same level. That's the reason why, if you have no alternative, you could rely on that hadas. Okay? No, here we're talking about these locations where they can't get the 3 on the same level. No, we don't. No, we don't rely on that. No, we don't. No, because we have an alternative. Just because you don't, just go borrow one. Maybe you're right. Maybe let's say you live in the United States, but you can't get. No, lechatchila you should not use it. It's only if you have no choice.
When we talk about the three at the same level, some of it, yeah, the exact.
They are. They're on the exact same level. They are.
And if they're off a little bit.
That's not on the same level. It's not. It's fact. That's the way it grows. They're exactly on the same level. Howard will show you the picture book afterwards. Okay. Okay. Show and tell. Okay, let's take a look. Gimel. Gimel echad. Ratzaloma b'chol kenu kain. At each level, view smuchin. Zer, lo zer, bigul echad. They're literally like in a circle. On each side of the stem, you have the leaf attached, but exactly on the same level. Shein echad nomuch michadero api shekol echad b'ukto. Each one has its own attachment on the side of the stem, but they're not. One's not another level than the other. One's not lower. Lamala mihen or lamata mihen. He says if you have two on one level, another one above or below, same thing. Nikra dashoter, neshein olav holchin keseder, elam shuboshim keshoter. It's mishuboshim, mean it's corrupted or disrupted, like a unstable person. Afilu b'shasat chak, so the Mechaber says, the Ramo says, you should not use this even shasat chak, even if you have no choice. Sheinu b'chal das klal, uposul, afilu b'shar yom, chenim hoyu shnayim, zal gavzer, gam ken ein ze b'chal ovo sa'omer b'torah. The kosher, others write that it is valid, yudalid. V'yikamand yom b'gemara, there is an opinion, the Gemara says it's kosher. They rely on this opinion in the Gemara that says that if you have two on one level and one on another level, let's say you have two. The pattern is just two. You don't have two and one, but it's one pattern, a continuous pattern. Despite the fact that they rely on, we quoted these two responsive them from the Marik and from the Mari Yisselin, the Vilna Gaon, and other later authorities, they question this very seriously, this minog. She'ein lehem shum yisod, there's no basis for it. Lo betray v'chav, lo betray gabkat, al betray, whether it's a pattern of two and one continuously or two, always two at every level. Ramah docher claim a minog. He says the Ramah, he explains only trying to somehow to show some kind of basis for that minog. Chen hayorei l'var Hashem. Therefore, the Chofetz Chaim writes, a person who's truly a Yorei Hashem, Yitrach limtzo avos kedin, you should find a proper hadas, where the leaves cover the stem as they should. Dahainu, meaning shlosha olin b'shoveh b'chol kain v'kain. At every level, you have three leaves on every level. Ayin l'kam sif hey, kosav chayodom, toch elu hayiveshim v'im im hasrogim, b'nochak nimtz echod l'meir sheishlam shlosha b'kain echod. What he writes over here, he says, and it used to be this way, that he says, the people they bring hayaveshim, that they bring with their srogim, they were ready, even though, the arava, the willow dries very quickly. Unless you keep it damp, even if you leave it out for a few hours, it starts wilting immediately. The leaves of the hadas stay moist. It's a much thicker leaf. It's a different type of leaf. And it lasts. But he says, people, the Chayodim writes, Chayodim was a mechutin with the Vilna Gaon. The Chayodim's daughter was married to the Vilna Gaon son. So they machtonim. So he writes, in his time, when they were bringing the Dalin Minim, the leaves were already dried. And he says, and even that, you'd find 1 out of every 100, we had 3 on the same level. The one that was dried out. He says, sometimes they're so brittle, if you put them in water and then they become soft again, that's an indication it's not yovish. He says, and if you can't find the hadas 3 on every level, then you should take the dalid midim, but you should not say a bracha, meaning not rely on the leniency or the justification or the rationale of the Ramah to justify these people's behavior. So he says that's the way you should conduct yourself.
wouldn't allow us to them.
Right. To say a bracha. To say a bracha.
So the situations in Europe where they're struggling to get 3 out of 4, and then they have that's with the kula, they wouldn't even know the bracha on it.
Correct. Okay. Let's see Dalit. Yotzu harbi b'kein echod. Right, you had many. We had this halacha before. Remember, we had 7 on one level, and 4 of the 7 fall off. Said it's the majority, and you have 3 left. So we said earlier that even the majority of the leaves fell off. As long as you have 3 left on the same level, it's valid. Remember, that was the halacha earlier. So yotza harbi b'kein echod. You have multiple leaves coming out of the same level. V'noshu mehen ad shelo nishru elo shlosha b'kein echod. And the leaves, the additional leaves fell off, and all you have at the end of the day, 3 on that same level. You have many more. Kosher, afil noshu rubam. This halacha he said earlier, right? Even though he had 7, and 4 of the 7 fall off, so that means you have a minority left. But since factually, what is the profile of Hadas? 3 on the same level, even though it's not the original leaves, it's not the number of leaves. The majority of the leaves fell off. It's still valid. Gon show you shiva. Initially, you started, you had 7 leaves. V'noshu me'en arba, 4 of the 7 fall off. And nishu shlosha, the hadas is still considered a kosher hadas, right? Although the majority of the leaves fell off. It's easy. Why should you want to pluck them?
Is it okay to have more than 3?
Yeah, definitely, it's not a problem.
You only have 3 in the whole stem.
No. On each level. Let's say one level. Each level you had 7, and then the majority of those that level, the leaves fall off. So now you end up 3 on each level. The same, but they were on the same level. The 3 that are left.
So once you start the first day, you have 3, even if one fall off.
No, even if they fall off, if the majority is still covered with 3, it's not a problem.
No, I understand, but let's say it falls off, it's not covered by 3 anymore.
We'll see. Noshu me'en ad, hainu afilu hoyo b'chol orach hadas kain. Afil noshu ruban, the cave nisha shlosha. Since factually 3 were left on each level, adain ovos karina bay. It's considered ovos. It's considered braided. Avon mishu rak shnayim. After b'das sheish lo shloshim kan echod nosher echod mikol kan nisha rak shnayim. Hiskimu kam achronim lahachshir. Now we're talking about, what about if originally start off with 3, and then 1 of the 3 fall off? At the end, you have the majority left. Here we're talking about minority, but the minority is 3. But he says, even though if you'd have a case where you have 3 initially, and then the majority remains, and you only have 2 left. Right? Okay? After b'dashei shlosha b'kein echod v'nosher echod mikol kein nisher rak shnayim hiskimu kam achronim l'hachshir. Many achronim validated because the majority left. There, you started with 3 and 1 fell off. Here, the only reason why we're validating the minority is because you have 3, right? Let's say you would have 2 left. Then there's not even the question in this case that it would be puzzled. Because here, it would be puzzled here. If you started with 7, you end up with 2. But 3, since 3 is still the profile of a valid hanas, therefore it's right. He says, even though there are many achronim who validate, we started with 3 and 1 falls off of each level, it's still valid. There, because regarding this hadas, you still have the majority. The identity identifies with majority. So since the majority was 3, initially you had 3, and this is the majority of 3, we still see it as if it's 3.
Well, even though you don't have 3 on the same level anymore.
Right.
You only have 2.
No, he's distinguishing between the 2 cases. You can have 2 cases. In one situation, 2 is kosher on each level. In one case, 2 on each level is not kosher. When you start with 7, 2 is not kosher. You start with 3 and you have 2 each, and 2 on each, it is kosher. So what's the difference? Of course, we say ruba kukula. The majority is like is the equivalent of the whole. So if you no, because it never started off as a valid. Here we start off valid.
What you have the hadassah, and the branches, right? They're symmetrical.
And that's, yeah.
So what if one side is new, and the glue on each one.
It's kosher.
Totally fine, right?
Even though we had it before by a lulav, there, if it had no leaves on one side, it was an opinion it's possible. Remember, we had it because it's like an abnormality. And we'll see regarding the hadass if it would be similar.
Yeah, because sometimes, just playing with it, putting it in and out of the holder, sometimes.
Yeah, it's being pushed. It's only pushed to the side. It's pushed.
Oh, the leaves fall off?
No, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay.
Started out kosher, I mean, it's.
No, but we're talking about on each level. Let's say you have two, but the majority still have three. The majority of the hadass still have three in each level. Okay, it's very unusual that every level, one of the leaves fall off on each set. That's unusual, right? On the bottom, usually it happens on the bottom. Right. Okay. Because even if you snip it off, usually the hadass is longer than you actually need. So it's totally irrelevant. We'll discuss what the shear is. I mean, how long does the hadass have to be? Masha enkein hocha chenoshu rubam bina akaponim shishag shirovos. That's how he's differentiating me two. Where I start off with three and one falls off, even though you have two, but since that's the majority of original. But if I start off with seven, so if I have three, although it's not the majority any longer, at least it's three. But if I have five fall off, so here it's not the majority and it's not the profile of hadass. That's the reason why it's possible. Okay, to be continued. That's why some people, they don't use that holder.
Yeah.
They just take a band and just tie them all together.
Yeah.
Because every time you push it in,
Yeah, you lose.
yeah. Right.
No, what Yaakov was saying is that if you pass the bottom, it becomes wider, you put them in and then you let it go and it tightens up. Because
Yeah, but remember you have two hadasim leaves.
no, I know the basket is folded, you squish it together and it folds, it becomes wider.
The Chinese torture.